It won't turn over. And you see that red light blinking on a depth gauge? That indicates that there's no depth in the truck, and that is completely false. It actually has just shy of over 3/4 of a tank in it at the moment. That's a false read. And a truck will not turn over. It won't start. See, this is all I get. I'm gonna do it again. All right, so I had a mobile mechanic to come by and scan the truck 3 days ago. And come to find out, the ECM or engine control module
supposedly be bad.
Supposedly it's bad on this truck because it's not getting the proper voltage. And for those of you all who are unaware, basically what the ECM does, it acts as the brains of the truck. So without a properly working ECM, it's like the truck doesn't have a reading through the computer, which is why apparently it isn't starting at the moment. So right now we are using this tester to check all of the fuses. Zoom in for you all. And we looked up the diagram for this particular model online to see which fuses are connected to the DAF system. Hopefully it's just a fuse.
There might be spares up in it.
Got the truck running, and it wasn't the ECM.
All right. As Jalen told you guys, he come to the truck one morning, tried to start the truck up last week, and when he turned ignition, it just spin over, it wouldn't start. And on the dash, he had a flashing depth gauge. It was reading empty, and it had a little flashing red light on it. Now, we didn't know what was going on with it. We had a guy come all the way over here, check it, and he hooked up to it, and he said we needed a new computer. That's what he said. All right. So what I did, I looked on YouTube, just like you guys would be doing if you got a problem like this. And then on YouTube, you hear a lot of things, strange things about that system. You know, I know it's different engines, but this one right here is the IXX 12 on this Cummins, on this truck. And I can just tell you that much. But what I kept on looking at, I said, well, wow, the truck was running fine. It was running fine the night before. We cut it off, shut it off, 9 o'clock that night. Next morning, went in, it didn't do anything. We hadn't had any issue, no signs of any problem. So I did my research and said, hey, it's 4 days later. I'm telling you, this 4 days later, doing research, scratching our heads. No. The guy came out and hooked up, so he went back. The ECM was gonna cost $2,200. And then he was gonna have to come back up here to program it and everything. Now I'm gonna have to call him and tell him don't even worry about it, because I did my research and I'm looking at everything about this system. I said, wow. And I noticed some people were having problems in the depth tank with the little floater in there. So I said, well, let's check it out and let's make sure it's not out of depth. So I got this little fisher right here. This is what I use to install my TVs. All the wires behind the wall. Got a little hook right here on it. See a little hook? And I said, I'm gonna go ahead and fish this down in here and see can I catch on something to float down there. And that's what I did. I went in the depth tank. It had plenty of depth in it. And I pulled all the float, I pulled it all the way out. Started the key. We went and checked it. The light went off. Truck started right up. that's what it is about this one. I mean, I don't know if it happened to anybody, but that's what we did. This little snake fisher right here did the trick. Now, not saying that something's going on with the float and it will fall back down again, but what we end up doing, we put some of that platinum depth in it, which got all the additives to clean up everything. Because I did know it was some like crystals on this thing when I pulled it out. Like the depth that was in there might have been weak or something. So you know, we run the truck every day. So we put some of that platinum in there, and I advise you to get some because that's better depth, better quality. So when you go to the stores, make sure you get a good quality of depth putting in there for one thing. We're gonna check it out and see how she do. That's all we can do. We're gonna see how she do. But that did the trick. Gauge reading. Part was placed in that depth tank because it did kind of stutter a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So I might have spoke a little too soon, but we found out where the problem is though. The problem's gonna be down on that float. That's it. I think that maybe slided down. I think it's the float sliding back down when it's still.
Okay, so there are no codes that are popping up on the dash. Look at the DAF gauge. It is reading on 3/4 of a tank, which is accurate. Because when I last shut the truck off, it had 3/4 of a tank inside of that DEF tank. Fuel gauge is where it is supposed to be, which is slightly above half of a tank. Everything looks good. I missed out on 4 days of work. 4 days of work, people.
This step off, then first we open this up, we need to take everything and clean it up real good, and this will get to replace that whole unit right there. I'll go around, take it all the way off, and do it again. That's what it is. And all this tax. That's what we will need to be replaced right there. The whole unit needs to be replaced. I'll tell you that now. We need to clean it up. We need to take it up properly. Take all the lines off, unscrew it, pull it out, and put the new one in. That's what it's going to do. And it's a name for that unit. You'll find it.
What is going on, YouTube? So I just completed my first shift since getting the truck back on the road, and so far so good. Everything went smooth as it would have normally or prior to coming across this issue. And it was just unfortunate because I missed out on 3 days of work, and this time of year in a dump truck game you are trying to squeeze in all of the work that you possibly can get. So those 3 days definitely put a hurting on your boy. But nonetheless, I'm just so thankful that my father and I were able to figure out the issue ourselves, because this mobile mechanic, don't get me wrong, nobody is perfect, but he was going to chip me out of a lot of money. we are talking about probably $2,000 if you consider the price of a remanufactured ECM in addition to the cost to reprogram it. So I'm just, again, I was a little bit upset at first because he was going to install this remanufactured ECM, reprogram it, only to find out that it wasn't the issue, and he was going to charge me regardless. So I'm just, again, glad that we took the initiative by going on YouTube and doing our own research. And I'm about to get out of the truck to show you all what the problem is, what triggered for the diesel exhaust, the DEF gauge to read as if there wasn't any in the tank, when in fact there are 3/4. And I'm about to show you all how much is in the tank at the moment. It's actually the same. So check this out. Hopefully I don't have to get the entire unit itself, because that costs about $1,500. So what I'm gonna keep you all updated. But I'm gonna go on YouTube. We're gonna go on YouTube and do some more research first. But I will be keeping you all updated. With that being said, I am not going to end this video. And hey, it's a part of the dump truck game. It comes with the territory, and that downtime definitely does suck. But at the end of the day, I'm just thankful that I didn't have to spend out thousands and thousands of dollars on something that wasn't actually the problem. With that being said, I will see you all on the next one. Again, peace.